welcome to Breathe Well Coaching. I'm Coach Erin. I am a physiologist, breathing coach, wellness guru, and I love communication. So I talk about all the things here on this channel to help you with self-improvement and feeling less anxiety and stress in your life and experiencing more well-being. Today I want to talk to you about mindful eating and how it can extremely benefit your health. So how we eat, where we eat, and what's going on in our mind and our body when we eat is going to make a big impact on our digestion and how we process that food. So looking to be more mindful when we eat can certainly help, especially if you experience a lot of irritable bowel syndrome, GERD, these types of digestive issues where you get acid reflux. I have found these mindful eating tips have been really helpful for those specific people, but also for people who are dealing with high levels of stress, high levels of cortisol in the body. Maybe you're going through menopause and you want to find ways to decrease your stress and anxiety. Maybe you're going through a really stressful period and you're having a hard time in life, and food has been something that you just notice you're inhaling. And that was where I had to get into mindful eating. So for me, after having 2 children, I found that I would quite literally inhale my food at every meal. I was in such a rush to do the dishes, do the chores, clean the dirty diapers, all the things you have to do as a new mom. And that I was sometimes even standing up, eating over my kitchen sink, inhaling my food. So I had to become a little bit more mindful about how I was eating to help myself with postpartum anxiety and some of the things I was experiencing as a new mom. If that's you, or if any one of these other examples are you, I'm so glad you're here. I'm going to give you a few tips that might help you or inspire you to incorporate these things into your life to become more mindful when you eat. Tip number 1 is to get outside. So I have found, for me specifically, being in nature, getting outside, not for every meal, but as frequently as I can, to eat outside, make it like a picnic, go back to the joy of eating and being in a different setting, whether you always eat in the same place. It might be in your office, it might be in your bed, it might be on your couch, it might be at your kitchen table or over your sink. Just moving out of that scene, out of that environment, and into nature, maybe even a more serene nature if you can find it, under a tree, in the grass, throw out a blanket, sit in a chair in the sun, find a cute little park near your office, get out in nature for your meal, and you might see that automatically slows you down, and nature can be really nurturing to our nervous system. So this can help us and aid in our digestion, aid in our ability to tap into that parasympathetic nervous system state so we can rest, digest, restore after we eat, and we're not eating in a heightened fight or flight in a super stressed state. So just getting out of your environment, go into nature, have a picnic, and see how that changes. If you do this tip, go ahead and comment below. Let me know if it was fun. You can share a picture with me, send it to my email. I'd love to know if this tip was motivating for you and something that you were able to incorporate. So let us know your experience. Tip number 2, okay, if you see the channel name that we have here, it's Breathe Well Coaching. So tip number 2 for mindful eating is going to be breath work. But what type of breath work? There's a certain way I want you to breathe before you sit down to eat, or right when you're even sitting down preparing to eat, that would really help. And even just 10 breaths like this can make a huge difference in you slowing down, transitioning into your mealtime. The breathing pattern I want to see is in through the nose. Definitely shut the mouth. This is going to slow down the volume of air coming in. Slow down, and you're going to get the filtration system that's in your nose. You'll get nitric oxide, all the benefits of nasal breathing. So breathe at very least in through the nose. And instead of breathing with your neck and shoulders or taking in a big chest breath, sucking in on the inhale, I want you to put your hands on your ribs and close your eyes. Breathe in through the nose for 4 seconds and breathe out. You can breathe out through the mouth or the nose. That doesn't matter as much. For 4 seconds. In for 4, out for 4. This is called balanced breathing. This will help to modulate or bring the nervous system into more of a homeostasis. So we're going to balance the body through the breath by doing that 4-4 breathing. 4-4 breathing is like drinking water. So we can do this anytime we feel a little stressed or overwhelmed throughout the day, but specifically right before you sit down and have a meal, this will help you transition into more mindful eating. You'll be so much slower going into this meal. 10 breaths is wonderful, but if you can do 3 rounds of 10 breaths, that would be fabulous. That will only take a few minutes anyway, so just taking a few minutes. This is a good time. I want to insert here in the breath work, since you're slowing down, taking time to breathe before your meal. If you're spiritual, I'm a Christian, this is where we remember to pray. This is where we take time to pray, to be grateful, to connect with God, to connect with the source. So I want to encourage that as well. I think that's a practice that has definitely, at least for me, been something that has really helped me slow down and be grateful for the food that I'm about to eat and that it will nourish my body. So breath work is definitely a great tool I want you to start to incorporate for more mindful eating. The third tip to help you be more mindful when you're eating is to use all of your senses. So use all 5 senses when you're there with your food. This is allowing you to be more present with that meal. So you're checking in. How does it smell? How does it taste? Touch it or move your fork around and really see how it is for the touch, or when the food comes up to your lips, notice how that feels, the touch feels in your mouth. Think about the senses, all your different senses, as you're chewing your food, as you're enjoying your food. Slow down and actually chew. Like I said, if you inhale your food, that's going to be more of a stressed way of eating. So slow down, chew, enjoy, savor that moment, really come into the present moment. When we're in the present moment, this is some of the power of mindfulness. When we're in the present moment, we're not ruminating on the past, which can get us depressed and stuck, and we're not thinking about the future, which can make us super anxious and overwhelmed. So we're not in these areas, but we're here. We're in the present moment where we can experience peace, joy, love, gratitude. So as you're eating your meal, I want you to use the senses and try to tap into really being present. That will lead us to the next tip. The next tip is put your devices away. If you are eating while watching this video, you have been caught. Put it away. I don't even care if you stop watching at all. I would rather you just enjoy your meal with some of the tips you've already learned so far. But seriously, put the devices away, put the screen away, and be present. If this is something you're trying to accomplish for your health, then that is going to be a simple, easy tool for you to do, is to not have screens around when you're eating. My final tip for enjoying more mindful eating for your health and well-being is to eat socially. Eat with a loved one. Enjoy that meal in community. We are more connected than ever, but from what I experience in coaching my different clients from all over the globe, even though we're more connected, many of us feel more disconnected and more isolated than ever. In that community, that sense of sharing meals together, go out with a colleague, go out with a friend, make a lunch date, sit and enjoy a meal with your family. I am guilty of this as well. This area is where I'm trying to improve specifically because I have worked all the other areas. But I hope these tips were really helpful for you and at least got you thinking about different ways that you can become more mindful when you're eating. And think of mindfulness like this. It's awareness, but it's awareness in a non-judgmental, non-critical way. And we have a lot of curiosity when we're becoming more mindful. We're curious about the food. We're curious about the environment we're in. We are open to more of those childlike experiences. I feel like when we're more mindful, we kind of get more connected with that inner child. And that's a really cool thing. And it also gets us to a place when we are more mindful about eating and our behaviors and our choices. We get to a place where we can make better choices because we're aware and we start to live in a more intentional and from a more aligned place. So this is the power of mindfulness, also wellness coaching, and becoming a better communicator internally. You're going to feel so much more empowered in your choices. And that is my hope for a lot of my clients. If you were inspired by this video, like, share, give me some of your tips. I love community and I want to build this Breathe Well coaching community. So please comment if you're watching this video and let me know what your favorite mindful eating tip is so that we can all learn and grow together. Breathe well, live well, and speak well. Have a wonderful day. Bye.